Had to show off my new plushie for a second. I got it from a friend. And hello, my fellow readers. This is iDark Symphony 777 with another fan fiction review. As always, I'll leave the link to the story in the description below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click on that bell for notifications, leave a comment in the comment section below on your thoughts on the story. And finally, this is my opinion. My opinion is not indicative of everyone in the world, so please respect that. So, a story I am doing a review of is Fall Empire by Sixes and Sevens. There's yet another pony story. I swear to God, why am I doing so many pony stories this year? Why? Why? Why did that person suggest so many pony stories? I don't know why. Let me move that up. Okay. And this story is actually pretty good. Very confusing. I think that's more to do with the fact that this kind of behaves like an episode of Doctor Who? Who knows? Probably the author. Okay, so let's get to the plot. Okay. So the plot starts with Shining Armor and Cadence basically just taking care of Flurry Heart. And then they open a passage that leads to a door with Sombra written on it. So they bring Celestia, they bring Twilight, they bring Luna, they even bring Discord, because why not? And they're like, I wonder what this is. And then off, here comes the Doctor and his companion, Sweetie Belle. Okay. I mean, Sweetie Belle being a companion? Oh, all right, I can. And basically what happens is Sweetie Belle doesn't have her cutie mark. She's actually fully an adult, but she has not gotten her cutie mark. She gets ruthlessly bullied. She actually has nightmares about it. And she still hangs out with the Doctor because it's like, it's meaning everyone literally moved away from Ponyville except for Apple Bloom, who works on the farm. And so, Doctor Who tries to cheer up. It's like, all right, where do you want to go? It's like, I want to go see Shining Armor and Kate. It's like, the Crystal Empire. I haven't been there in so long. All right then. So they go. The quartz crystal that powers the TARDIS that allows them to go to locations breaks and actually, it sends them to the Crystal Empire. But way into the past. Around at the time where the Crystal Empire actually disappears. Now, if you actually watched My Little Pony, the Crystal Empire, I believe, was the beginning of season 3, where I can't remember if it was season 3. I believe it was season 3, like the very first 2 episodes of season 3. I did. The chronology is so bad. So bad. Okay. Chronology. And they allow... I'm having a brain fart because of all my yawning. Oh, yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah, first 2 episodes of season 3. The Crystal Empire just shows up out of nowhere. It turns out that Celestia and Luna basically kind of stasis the entire empire for 1,000 years because they want to actually save the people. But the problem is they didn't know how to actually go about it. So that's basically what happened. They basically just put it in stasis and then just kept it there. Everything kind of frozen in time for 1,000 years until the events of season 3 happened. And Spike the Dragon saves day. Because so we get it. So Sweetie Belle and Doctor end up on the last day before Celestia and Luna stasis the Crystal Empire. And they're actually caught in the middle of a skirmish between Sombra's forces and Celestia and Luna's forces with catapults, and they run to the city, and then they meet Sombra, and Sombra is like, yes, I'll give you a crystal. Just danger. Yes. And the story does a very, very neat thing with how crystals work in the story, and the fact that large quantities of certain colors actually invoke certain emotions. And that's actually kind of a big plot point in this story, because in this story, it's not so much Sombra who's technically the evil one. It's the Nightmare, because of course the Nightmare. Nightmare caused Nightmare. Nightmare, like, there's always going to be stories that have, like, anything that happens. Like, oh, it's the Nightmare. Okay. And instead of possessing Sombra, the Nightmare actually possesses the gems in his cloak and his crown. So basically, forcibly evoking emotions to take over him, so that way he still is cognizant of what's happening. And the only place he can do, and he needs to be like insight or crystals nearby in order for that to activate. So we have a part where he goes in his room, which actually has no crystals in it, so the crystals turn off, and he's able to cry himself to sleep. Doctor and Sweetie, they wander across the castle, being led by a character. What the name? I cannot remember what her name is. I think it's Jade. Yeah, I believe it's Jade. Who was his human, like, PR person sort of thing, and the only person he actually kind of trusted. And they come across certain crystals, and the crystals basically evoke certain emotions. Like blue will calm them down, red will make them angry, green will actually make them envy, pink lowers their inhibitions. There's a lot of colors. Red is basically the most prominent. They actually notice, as the story goes along, they notice that all the crystals, like red crystals, is like slowly creeping up and completely coloring all the crystals, all the other colors. And there's a big. Also, we have like Doctor being hunted by this guy, the Valiard, who's basically like all the Doctor's worst qualities. I'm not familiar with Doctor Who enough to know much about it. It's implied that he's eventually going to become the Valiard. Eventually, I think. I hope. I don't know. And so they decide to try and basically get out of Dodge, because because both of them know that once the sun comes up, the Crystal Empire is just going to be gone, and they don't want to be there when it goes. However, Sweetie Belle eventually has a change of heart and says, "We got to help Sombra. Can we just help Sombra? Can we help Sombra? We know it's not his fault," because they find out that it's literally not so much him that was causing the problems. It was the Nightmare infesting his cloak and crown. So can we help him? I don't know. I don't want to change time. It's well, the only thing that's guaranteed to happen is the Crystal Empire disappearing. Go on. What if we cure him, but we keep him in stasis, but for longer? So that way the Nightmare can affect. So that way it also ties into the events of season 3, where the Sombra we see is basically the last of the Nightmare that was infesting him, due to the simple fact that he was basically knocked out for longer. And how that happens is, at the end, the entire city is just either red crystal or white crystal, which is like mind control crystal, and it's going up the tower. The Doctor and Sweetie Belle, they manage to get the soul. They find out that the crystal heart in that time frame was actually compromised, so the nightmare was actually thought ahead, completely destroyed and completely entrapped this crystal heart, so they couldn't do it. So it's like, we got to make our own crystal heart. So they actually go into the dreamscape. They talk to the spirit of the crystal heart, I think, and basically convince them to make a new one out of all of the memories and dreams of all the people coalescing into a new heart. And then the heart is activated by Sweetie Belle singing a song, which even actually gives Sweetie Belle a cutie mark at the end of it, her singing abilities. All right. And we get to the end of the story where it's just basically Sombra wakes up. It's like, well, we don't want you. He's like, yeah, it's fine. I don't want to be here anymore. I know for a fact the moment they see me, they're just gonna come at me. So I'm just gonna, maybe I could just be a nomad and just wander. Who knows? I think the implication in yeah. Yeah, and then instead they just ask Sombra's like, maybe you can stay at Twilight. It's like, why? You had Sunset. I mean, you had Starlit. You had Trixie. But then it's Trixie. Come on, Trixie's worth it. She's best pony. And that's more or less the plot. I didn't wanna go too deep into it because the crystal thing is like very, very complicated. Because a lot of the plot has to do with the manipulation of the crystals and how they evoke emotions. And that is just way too confusing a thought process to get into. But I like the story. It's very confusing at times, but I think that's the point. I think the author is trying to invoke how Doctor Who mainly operates. I think, and while it is very confusing at first. If you're able to figure out the connections, kind of the pieces moving around, you can see like, yeah, this is actually really well written. This is a really good plot. This is a really good story. The characters. We're only going to talk about Sombra and Sweetie Belle. Doctor's technically the main character. Problem is, he's the Doctor. Not easy to talk about. He's like one of those characters like you just don't you need to have knowledge of to understand, and I just don't understand the Doctor. Oh boy, I don't understand the Doctor. So Sweetie Belle, she's very shy. She has a lot of depression. It's implied that in the story she kind of has depression, mainly because of all the time spending so long without a cutie mark and just being religiously bullied for 4 years of it has kind of left a lasting mark on her. I think her tale of it comes off as relatable. Like, she doesn't know what she wants to do, so she's constantly traveling with the Doctor to just try and fill that void. Like, she kind of came into this idea that she doesn't. She's like, I want my cutie mark, but I don't want to. I want to do something. I don't know, and just wandering through. It's like a lot of people you see online that just basically glue their hands to the streets. They're bored with nothing to do. I just want to find some purpose in life. Just don't be like those people who glue their hands on the streets. It's stupid. And it is a very neat task of her slowly learning that she doesn't need the cutie mark to define her. And eventually she gets it, and she's very ecstatic, but she's like, I made a new friend. I got Sombra now. I got Sombra. I made a friend. And then you have Sombra, who's very somber. No pun intended. Okay, pun completely intended. He's very, he comes off as very saddened. He hates the fact that it's eventually revealed at the end he doesn't have a cutie mark. It's what causes Sweetie Belle to kind of kick Sweetie Belle's butt into gear and to say that your cutie mark doesn't define you. It's like, but I don't have a cutie mark. Me neither. I've been ruling this kingdom since I was 8. I don't have an what's your excuse? If I could do that without a cutie mark, you could save this kingdom. Do. He's very anxious because because he spent so long. Considering the fact everyone besides Jade is like completely corrupt, more or less either corrupted by Crystal or they're brainwashed by the White Crystal, and so he doesn't really have anyone. You see that he's very remorseful of his actions. He is a very tragic. He becomes a tragic villain in the sense that he really does genuinely regret everything that he's done. It's just because of Nightmare's influence, he can't really try to fix everything because the Nightmare is just going to completely negate everything that happened. So there's that. But at the end of the day, both Sweetie Belle and Sombra, they're well written. They're really good. They're really great characters. The Doctor is a doctor. There's not much to talk about with that. Grammar errors. The only noticeable grammar errors is the fact that the author kept calling Discord Bay. I'm pretty sure, that's like a weird grammar error. I don't know for sure. Yeah, I think that's the only grammar error. Because I read the story like a week and a half ago, and I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think that's the only grammar error. Pacing, it's paced very well. The sentence structure is very well done. Everything is just as good as it can be. I think that's it. I think that's it with this story. There's not much to talk about. It's 59,000 words. You can see right there. Only one review. I just noticed there's only one review. This needs more reviews. This is not a bad story. Oh, I forgot. It's because it's a crossover. Crossovers don't review as well as normal stories. Kind of a shame. Darn shame. I think the story does deserve more reviews. Would I recommend the story? Yeah, it's kind of a basic story. Kind of, it gets the job done very well, and I do like it. Yeah, I do. I like it enough that I was like, there's nothing really wrong with it. Favorite part? I don't really have a favorite part. Just nothing really stands out. I guess Sweetie Belle's song at the end when she gets her cutie mark. I think that's the moment. But that would be it. That'd be the only moment that would kind of stand out to me. Yeah, I guess we can say that. Yeah, I would recommend it. The Sweetie Belle song at the end would be my favorite moment. Would I change anything? Not really, unless you fix the Discord things, calling him a they. But yeah, the author did good. This is a really well crafted story. It stays true to both My Little Pony and I'm pretty sure Doctor Who. Again, I'm not a Doctor Who fan. I tried to get into it. I did not like it. I just thought it was painfully dull. I know it has its fans, not me, not for me. But yeah, I think this is a good story. I don't really have anything else to say about it because it's the crystals, the crystals, the crystals, the crystals. Worship the crystals. But yeah, that is Fall Empire by 6 and 7s. Rhythm and Dark Symphony 777, and